welcome back to Making Waves. Today I thought we would talk about something near and dear to all cruisers' hearts, and that is cruise packing, specifically carry-on packing. I've learned some tips and tricks through the years and thought I would pass this along to you in case they're helpful, so stay tuned. Let's talk about it. So if you've cruised before, or even if you're just taking a big vacation, you know that anticipation level and how exciting it is when the time is near and you can actually start to pack. I love that feeling. I like to take an organized approach to packing. So before I show you exactly what I packed in my carry-on bag for our last cruise, I thought I would share a little bit of information about us. So we live in the Midwest of the United States, so we are nowhere near a cruise departure port. So we typically fly to the port and spend the night and then head to the cruise terminal the next morning. If you're like us and you have to fly in, or if you have a very long drive, we definitely recommend going in the day before. You know, we've all heard about all the travel nightmares caused by delays, and you would hate to miss your cruise. So we always recommend going down the night before. That way you can have a very relaxed morning getting to the cruise terminal and on board the ship. So with that in mind, I thought I would share exactly what I pack in my carry-on bag and why I organize it the way I do. And so when I'm talking about a carry-on bag, I'm not talking about my carry-on roller suitcase. I'm talking about an actual bag that I typically put under the seat in the airplane. And I'll share it right here. It's pretty heavy. And I've shared this bag before. I'll definitely link it below. It's a great bag, and it allows me to kind of have everything I need. The great thing about this bag is it has on the side here the trolley sleeve. This is the sleeve that fits over your suitcase. So even though it is pretty heavy, I didn't have to physically carry it. It rode on my suitcase. So for me, the things I want to have in my carry-on bag are the things I'm going to use that night that we arrive in the departure city, up through leaving the hotel and headed to the cruise port. So my goal in all this is I don't want to have to open any of our suitcases. You know, I've packed them so carefully. I've pieced all the packing cubes in there like a puzzle, and I just don't want to disturb any of that until we are on board the ship. So I want this bag to have everything I'm going to need for essentially that kind of 24-hour period. So let's dig into it and see what's in here. I'm going to start with this outside zipper compartment. In here, I have the luggage tags for the baggage that we're going to actually check at the cruise terminal. These are the bags that they bring to you, usually late afternoon, early evening, the things that you don't want to have to lug around with you all day. So that's in here. All right, let's get into the interior of the bag now. So in here, I do have it packed pretty full. I have just a little wristlet handbag, and I have my phone in here as well. I also have in here my TSA liquids bag. So these are all the liquids that I would need, to get ready that night, to get ready the next morning. The only liquid I didn't have in this bag was a large bottle of sunscreen, and that was in our large checked luggage. That's in here. I also have my cosmetic bag. This is one of those really large cosmetic bags that unzip and fold very flat. What's great about this one is it's very soft and squishable. So if you don't have it packed full, it doesn't take up that much room. I had all the makeup that I brought for the cruise along with any prescription medication in this bag. All right, what's next? I have my glasses case. This is a double glasses case that has my readers in one side and my sunglasses in the other, essential for any cruise. Also in one of the pockets, this bag has quite a few pockets, both just regular pockets and then zippered pockets. I had my passport handy. Definitely need to have that to get on the cruise. All right, next I have a small packing cube in here. And what I had in this packing cube was everything I was going to need to wear from the time we arrived, in our case in Fort Lauderdale, to the time we left that next morning for the cruise terminal. So in my case, that included the outfit that I was going to wear to get on the cruise ship, and I apologize, I wrinkled, but just a pair of shorts, and also just a cute little, tank top that goes with it. This is also pretty wrinkled. I packed this one specifically for that first cruise day on purpose. This was really the only top that I brought that was super wrinkly, and I knew I was going to have access to an iron at the hotel. So that's why I brought that. I also packed in here, this is just a kind of a tunic length lightweight t-shirt that I wear to bed. And then I have a dress in here. You might be saying, why would you need a dress for that just a hotel stay prior to getting on the cruise? Well, I'm a cautious packer and I like to be prepared. So in the unlikely event that our checked bags with our clothing don't arrive to our cruise ship cabin before we want to go to dinner, I've got a dress right here. I've had this dress for years. It goes on every cruise with me for the first night. I can ball it up. It doesn't wrinkle. It's great. So that's just a little backup in case I need it. Now, I also had in this packing cube undergarments, but let's keep a little mystery between us. I'm not going to show those. If this information is helpful to you, I hope you'll give this video a like. It helps us out a lot. All right, I also have my flat iron, my hair straightener in here. I always joke that I have to beat my hair to submission every morning. I've got some pretty unruly hair. It's kind of naturally curly / frizzy, and so it does take a flat iron and occasionally a curling iron to get it to obey. So I always have that with me. All right, the last thing I had in the interior of the bag was my computer. Now, my husband will but accuse me of being a workaholic and bringing my computer everywhere. And he's kind of right. I do like to enjoy my vacations. I really do try not to work. But if I needed to work, if I needed to access some important documents, do emails, I do bring it with me just for that peace of mind. Also, I always say no vacation goes unpunished, and I hate coming back to hundreds and hundreds of emails. So if I can just have my eye on those during vacation, not necessarily working, but just kind of getting rid of the ones I don't need, starring the ones I need to respond to when I get back, it just helps me stay a little more organized. As I've mentioned in previous videos with this bag, one of the features I love about it the most is that it has a compartment here at the very bottom that unzips. And what I packed in this little compartment were my shoes. So I had just kind of one pair of heeled sandals that I brought for the cruise, wore these for every dinner, including evening chic night. I also had a pair of just kind of flat casual sandals in here. And then lastly, I had my flip-flops. And then on the plane, I wore my sneakers. That was the bulkiest pair of shoes that I brought, and so it made sense to wear those on the plane. But what was great about being able to fit all of my shoes in here is that I didn't have to take up that valuable space in a suitcase. So really my whole goal with this is that this is just kind of a bag of convenience. It has everything that I would need in that 24-hour period, or sometimes less than 24-hour period before we get on the ship. I hope that information is helpful. I would love it if you would use the comment section below to tell us about any packing tips, tricks, strategies that you use. We love to learn from you. It's how we've learned through the years, is by watching other YouTubers. So we would love it if you would share those tips below. We so appreciate you watching, and until next time, happy cruising.